Bun găsit, eu sunt Tudor Curtifan. Astăzi avem un interviu special, suntem pe platformele Defense România. Discutăm despre situația de la granița Armeniei cu Azerbaidjanul într-un context important, Ziua Națională a Armeniei. Un invitat cu adevărat special, domnul Sergey Minasyan, excelența sa, ambasadorul Armeniei în România. Hello, Your Excellency.
Good morning.
Thank you for accepting our invitation and for being here at Defense Romania.
Thank you for your invitation.
I would like to start our discussion, our interview, Your Excellency, by congratulating you on this important occasion, the National Day of Armenia, congratulating all the Armenians, Armenian community in Romania, and a very large and important one. What can you tell us about this moment of joy? What purpose and signification has this moment?
Thank you very much. Thank you first of all again for your invitation and thank you for congratulations to our National Day. The 21st of September is celebrated by people in Armenia and in all Armenian communities all over the world as an independence date and embodying the Armenians' centuries-old dream of own statehood. And on the 21st of September, the Independence Days, it marks a day when in 1991 Armenians through a referendum decided in favor of creating and building its own destiny, its own independent statehood. And of course, all these 31 years of our independent statehood, they were full of very hard work on creating our statehood to establish a free society based on the human values, including also freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of all, and also based on that to create governments through elections, which also demonstrate our readiness to be as one of the proud members of international community. Unfortunately, due to historical and political reasons, our post-independence period of evolution, it was not so easy, and from the first days of our independence, our country and also our compatriots in Nagorno-Karabakh were faced with aggression with Azerbaijan, with very heavy fightings that are ongoing almost 30 years, and this is also something that we also, I think, will discuss now during our interview.
Speaking about the situation in south of Caucasus, despite this moment of joy, Armenian National Day, all eyes are on the situation on border, on Armenia and Azerbaijan border, and on the attack of Azeri army. What news can you bring us, Your Excellency, and what happened last 2 weeks? I mean, we have a very tension moment at your border.
Yes, it's true. As you know, on the morning on September 13, Azerbaijani side against they launch a full-scale attack on the border, on the southern and eastern border of Armenia. The full-scale attack was accompanied by heavy bombing using artillery, mortars, drones, and other heavy techniques. Unfortunately, we had numerous of casualties and wounded. According to the official data provided by the Armenian government, more than 200 people, including also civilians, died as a result of military aggression of Azerbaijan. We have also 2,000 of prisoners of war, and also many servicemen and civilians were wounded. And as a result, we have also incursion of Azerbaijani forces in some position inside the internationally recognized territory of Armenia. It's obviously that Azerbaijani aggression represents a gross and violation of all fundamental principles of international law, including UN Charter, Helsinki Act. But unfortunately, also all these military attacks, they were accompanied by violations of the international humanitarian law and the rules of war conducting. We were witness of torture and violation of prisoners of war, the sacrificing of the bodies of Armenian servicemen, including also female servicemen. So this is something that it's against the all standards and commitments of civilized world, and this is an issue that we are inviting attention to all our partners in the international area, our colleagues in different organizations we are members. From the very beginning of this resumption of the fighting, which by the way it's not the first one as the last 2 years, and it's some kind of it's a direct continuation of the previous attacks from Azerbaijani side that against the territory of Armenia that started after the 2020 August war in Nagorno-Karabakh. And unfortunately, the absence of the direct and addressed reaction from the international community to these steps and military aggression of Azerbaijan, they actually encouraging the Azerbaijani leadership for continuation such kind of a policy.
There was a peace agreement that this attack of Azerbaijan side was broken.
Even before the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh war, our leadership, they demonstrated readiness to go further in the peace settlement of Nagorno-Karabakh and to establish long-term peace in our region. Unfortunately, the maximalist position of Azerbaijani leadership, it doesn't allow us to go further in this situation. Azerbaijani leadership is trying to use force on the threat of force to get some kind of additional steps, additional gains in this situation, which of course creates real danger for the region. Armenian side also applied to all its international partners. You know that we applied to CSTO, to Russia, to UN Security Council, and by the way, during the last week, we had 2 sessions of UN Security Council where this issue was very widely discussed, and many members, almost all members of this important UN body, they stressed on necessity to not only to finish such kind of aggression, but also to come back to the pre-war conditions on the border and the peaceful settlement of this conflict. And it also should be mentioned that almost all members of international community, members of these bodies, they stress the importance also to respect the humanitarian elements and to respect life and dignity, especially prisoners of war that are now in the Azerbaijani custodies.
What do you think, Your Excellency, is Azerbaijan goal, the objective of this new attack, and why do you think the Baku side is seeking war with Armenia?
You know, they are trying to use this momentum. They are trying to use this momentum, first of all, as a continuation of the previous attack against Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh.
2 years ago, you talk about it.
Also, they try to gain more, I think, favorable points on the front line to try to use it as an element of political pressure on Armenian side. They also are trying to use momentum when the attention of the international community now is focused on Ukraine. It's focused on the political and military confrontation between Russia and Western countries, when all efforts of international community also actually focused on resolving humanitarian issues around Ukraine. And of course, they think that it's not enough attention, especially from the so-called great powers, to be involved in the situation. How I think it's not, it was a wrong calculation of Azerbaijani leadership. We seen that not only our traditional partners on the post-Soviet space, but also European community and especially United States, they paid a special attention to this situation. And a vivid example of such attention, it was a recent visit of Madame Pelosi to Armenia. You know that she visited Armenia. She had a very I would say busy agenda during her visit. She met with President of Armenian Parliament. She met with Prime Minister, but she also additionally in the agenda was included a meeting with our Minister of Defense. And during all its meeting, it was a clear demonstration from the highest American officials of unacceptability of such kind of aggression from Azerbaijan against the Armenian territory. We also know that on the framework of UN General Assembly on 19th of September, by the initiative of the American side, the meeting of Mr. Blinken with ministers of foreign affairs of Armenia and Azerbaijan was held. And I'm sure also that during this meeting, the clear position of United States concerning on necessity to come back to the peaceful steps in this situation also were mentioned.
Turkey, Your Excellency, it's an important player in this situation. How important do you think is Turkey's support on Azerbaijan aggression against Armenia?
You know that it's not a secret. Azerbaijani leadership always trying to stress its full actually support of
politically and military.
Military and military technically. We were witness that during the 2020 autumn war in Nagorno-Karabakh, Turkish military special ops generals were involved directly in military operations against Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh, and also in this new, I would say, techniques, in new situation of military technical conducting of war. Very important was their support by sophisticated armament, including also Bayraktar drones. We were witness again that Azerbaijani side used these drones during the attack against the sovereign territory of Armenia. But also we are witness that on the highest political level, Turkish leadership demonstrated unconditional support of Azerbaijani military aggression with very bold statement and threats against the Armenia and the Armenian people, which of course it should be a problem also for the international community, for our partners in European political space, because we know that Turkey is trying to use momentum not only in the South Caucasus but also in other regions that are important for pan-European security architecture.
You talk about, Your Excellency, about the visit in Armenia of House Speaker Madame Nancy Pelosi. And speaking about the international community, I want to ask you, what do you think should be the answer of international community on these tensions between your country and Azerbaijan?
You know, first of all, the political development of last some years, they demonstrated that international community should come back again to the world based on the international law and rules of conduction between states. And the most important issue that should be condemned by the international community is use of force or threat of using force from some members of international community. And unfortunately, Azerbaijan, with a direct support of Turkey, it's among the countries that are very violently trying to use its, I would say, this military force, this military element as a most important element of its relations, its interrelation with its neighbors. First of all, with Armenians and with Republic of Armenia and with Armenians living in Nagorno-Karabakh. So that's why I think the most important thing that should be made by the international community, more addressed condemnations and pressure to the authoritarian leadership of Azerbaijan, trying to persuade them and to push them to come back to the negotiation table, and also to finish these aggressions against our country, against our people, but also a situation when this military aggression it creates very explosive situation on the all South Caucasus. It also creates new problems for our partners, for our international, for our friends on the international area. And I think that the most vivid criticism and pressure might actually push back Azerbaijan from this maximalist position.
I think the US position made a very clear and important point of how international community should put pressure on Azerbaijan's side. It's
the position
an historical moment.
Yes, the position of Washington is important, and it's also important that in case of Armenia, United States tried to demonstrate not only this geopolitical or geostrategical actually consideration, but also a problem of the on the moral side. You know that United States is among the countries that recognize Armenian genocide, and during the visit of Madame Pelosi to Yerevan, also it was again stressed that the leadership of United States, including the President of Biden, they continuing this policy of recognition and condemnation of the Armenian genocide in Ottoman Empire. And also it's important for us because this is a messaging addressed to Azerbaijan and its sponsors that it's unacceptable continuation such kind of a policy that are trying to use now against Armenia.
Your Excellency, I would like to conclude our discussion, our interview, by asking you to send a message to, I don't know, Armenian community in Romania. And as I said, it's a very large and important community on the occasion of your National Day.
Thank you very much. Indeed, Armenian-Romanian community is one of the oldest Armenian diaspora communities in the world, with a very deep historical tradition. We have enormous cultural, religious, architectural heritage here in Romania, and we appreciate also the attention from the Romanian side to our Armenian community. I would like to congratulate our community here in Romania. Appreciate their unconditional support to the historical homeland, also our embassy activity, and appreciate also the efforts to inform society and political forces in Romania about the situation in and around Armenia. And also I would like to say that we had very positive dynamic in our bilateral relations. Very recently we had political consultation on the level of state secretaries in Yerevan between Armenia and Romania, and we had also meetings of Romanian Foreign Ministry State Secretary Mr. Fota with our Minister of Foreign Affairs with Armenian Catholicos. It was also a visit of a Romanian delegation to the museum and monument of Armenian genocide in Yerevan. And during all these meetings, there was stressed the necessity to improve and to actually elevate our relations on the national and the state level to a new aims. And I hope that Armenian community of Romania will play an important role in this activity, including also our joint efforts together with Romanian, our friends, with our partners from European countries, United States and other influential members of the international community to strengthen our joint efforts to establish a long-standing security situation on South Caucasus.
And all these political actions that you mentioned shows that Armenia and Romania are very, very good friends.
We really have a very deep and very positive record of our historical relations. Of course, first of all, due to millennium presence of Armenians here in Romania, but of course, the current stage of our relations, it also demonstrates very positive dynamics, and I hope that we'll continue our fruitful cooperation.
Your Excellency, thank you for being here with us, and happy National Day for all Armenians.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words. Congratulations, and for invitation for this interview.
Thank you very much. Rămâneți pe Defense România.